Hey now, Steve Stevens for Bionic Buzz. We're here at Art's Radio Dream Launch 10th anniversary here at Steve Resnik's Rock and Roll Mansion. The event features many icons in the radio and record industry, so let's go see who we can talk to. Well, Lou, you do a lot of amazing stuff for SiriusXM. Before we get into all that, I want to know where your passion for radio first came from. Were you a kid, a teenager? Were you listening to a certain program? How did you get started your career?
We were just talking about how I got started my career or my passion for radio. Those two different. Passion for radio came from listening to the radio as a little kid. My mom got me a transistor radio. I was 5, and I started listening to radio in the New York metropolitan area, and learning all the songs. And then she started buying me all the records. And when people asked me when I was 6 years old, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I want to be disc jockey.
Okay.
I used to say I want to be the man on the radio. Yeah. Went to college, campus radio stations. Fill in on terrestrial commercial stations, then weekends, then full time. And then you start market climbing and sending out air checks to whoever advertised, and whoever called back first got me. Oh, I just got a call from Greenville, South Carolina. I'd pack up my car and drive to Greenville, South Carolina.
Wow.
So you take that radio adventure.
Yeah.
And wound up doing mornings in LA for CBS Radio for 3 years, and then they changed format and retained me, moved me to afternoons, but I worked in LA Radio for a bit. Great run in Charlotte, North Carolina, one of the last great top 40 stations there, Big Waves, WAYS. I love that memory.
You've been all over the place there.
Yeah, I programmed in Salt Lake City, and then I wound up out here in LA to play standards for Clear Channel on KLAC.
Oh, really?
And the Sinatra Family used to listen to that station because they like hearing their dad. And the station went Spanish, and so I was out, and about that time they were going to launch a channel with Sirius. And Sirius said, "Do you have anybody in mind that you'd like to have programmed yet?" And they said, "Well, yeah, this guy that we used to listen to on KLAC. Because he knows the music and all that. Let's try to find him." And
so you were there from the get-go then? Right?
No. Sirius went up in 2000. We put this channel up in 2006. Yeah. So I've been, or 2007, I guess. Yeah. Well, yeah. So I've been with SiriusXM for 12 years, and this coming March will be 12 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool, and let's talk about the newest channel that's everyone's favorite, the Beatles Channel. How do you pick what gets played on there? Because there's so much content to pick from.
Well, they only recorded 213 songs.
Oh, okay.
And some of those are part of a medley, and they're only like 40 seconds long, so I don't really count them. So they really recorded, as far as I'm concerned, 207 songs. Mm-hmm. It's not that many songs.
But they have their side projects that get played on there sometimes too, right?
Play some solo stuff, but we don't play that much.
Yeah.
We mostly play the Beatles. So it's a short list. So the big challenge on that channel is making it interesting.
Okay.
So we have hosted shows,
Yeah.
hosted by, we have a show that's themed about George Harrison. We have Peter Asher hosting a show every week. We do a listener-voted show called 8 Songs a Week, where we give you a theme and then people, vote, and we play the 8 top vote getters from that. We have a show produced in England from the British called The Beatles in Britain, British perspective. And, so always trying to figure out ways to take those 200 songs and make them interesting by slicing them up a little bit, letting the audience get involved. We have guest DJs come in.
Yeah, I'm a big Pearl Jam fan. Eddie Vedder did a special on there, which was really cool.
He was the first one. He did an hour of his favorite Beatles, and it was great. It was a great show. Beatles Channel is a big honor to be married to that brand and give it a national platform like that with that catalog of work by that group. Pretty cool.
Well, I had no idea they didn't record that much. I always thought they had like millions of albums, but
no.
No, wow.
No.
Okay, let's go through other channels you program.
I oversee 50s on 5, 60s on 6. I mentioned Seriously Sinatra, which is how I got into the company, which is really the only home for standards left in America. I mean, there's just not that many radio stations playing Peggy Lee and Dean Martin and Ella Fitzgerald and playing Irving Berlin and Rodgers and Hart, and the Gershwins. I love that channel a lot. the Garth Channel. He's the biggest selling artist of all time, and obviously one of the biggest country stars of the 90s and beyond. And a great guy to work with. And so I built that, and then I stayed on to program it because he and we get it. So there's that. And along the way, I do channels that come and go, like Billy Joel is on for a month and off for a month or two and then back. And he's also great, to work with. And I did the James Taylor, the Barbara Streisand, the Beach Boys, which was on for 3 months all summer.
I loved it when they had the Bon Jovi channel, but that was only limited time.
That was for limited time. That was really good. I liked the Rod Stewart that we had up. I didn't program the music on that, but I did capture the assets, meaning interview him for the stories. Great guy, and I like that channel a lot. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much
So,
for sharing.
That's what we do. But, the big thing for me is coming here every year. Get to see Resnik's house, get to see Art Vuolo, get to see, Joel Denver, see if he knows of any cool gigs. Which is, we always used to, whenever you're out of work, the first thing you did was you call Joel Denver and say, what are you hearing about? But these are great people. I hope that what Art's saying is not true, that this is the last year we're going to do this, because I look forward to it every year, seeing, a lot of the same people and then some different ones, and it's just great to stay in touch. So anyway, nice to see you.
Yes, nice to see you. Thank you so much for sharing your stories with us.